There's some help. All right. Welcome to Richard's team call. It is May 9th, and I am happy to be with you guys. So let me start from the top. Convention is sold out. So as of right now, you would be putting your name on a waiting list. And I would do that. I would not hesitate to do that. I would not hesitate to have your coaches do that, because there is a very good chance that they'll move a bunch of people off of that list. And the earlier you get on the list, the better. So if you're like, oh my goodness, I did not register yet, go ahead and put yourself on the list is my biggest suggestion. There will also be virtual. So I do believe that you can still obviously take advantage of that. So if you're on the list waiting and then you get pulled off, yay. And if you're not, you could do virtual. Okay, so you could do watch parties, stuff like that. The main message is you don't want to miss convention, whether it's virtual or in person. I can specifically attest to the fact that I had no idea what I was a part of until I went to convention. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I am missing the boat. I am playing so small. I literally was in my head, like, you're going to have paradigm shift after paradigm shift. You're going to really understand Dr. A on a heart level, and all that's behind you and what is behind you. So this is not like, oh, you should go to convention. We suggested. It's more like break your neck to do it. I won't pull any punches. So cool. I'm going to make a couple of co-hosts. Looks like, can someone put a reminder in our organic thread, just because we're missing like 20 people on average for Monday night. So I'm going to ask for a couple of co-hosts here, and let me see who looks like they're ready to do that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make a few, because I'm going to get into a training. So what I was saying is, occasionally on team night, we will do an actual training, a soft skill or some strategies. Other times we will do celebratory shares. Other times we'll have a guest speaker. Like next week, we actually have a guest speaker that's going to join us and do some sharing. So that'll be super awesome. So you'll have different things that you get to be a part of on these Monday nights. Okay, I made a couple of co-hosts, Megan Kemmerling and a few others. And that way there's plenty of people when I get into presentation mode. Awesome. Okay, let me know. Are you co-hosts are good? You guys are good? Okay, thanks guys. All right, so I'm just gonna get started. That's really the only announcement I had was convention and obviously the promotion tonight. Eclipses this evening. So I do want to talk a little bit about that. I don't think it's going to slow you guys down at all. Programs cost neutral. That was just over the top. If that's your heart posture and you really understand the value of our program and what people are not having to pay for, then it just oozes out of you and you're able to help them. If you have to get creative with people, they can break up their order to twice a month. First half on the first, 11 boxes on the 15th. I do suggest that all of you, one little pro skill tip, I really suggest that everyone get their orders that are at the end of the month. So if you have orders processing like the 22nd and beyond, I would really work with your clients through that trusted advisor space to have them process their order on the 1st or the 15th, and really avoid the end of the month if you can, because those are the orders, if you guys notice, that kind of push, right? So when you have a lot of trust and rapport, you can really say to the client, the first couple orders have been kind of, why don't we move your order to the 15th? I'd really like to get it away from the end of the month madness or the 1st. And so try. And I think what that'll give you guys is freedom to work with your coaches. So just the big vision of all this, right? I want to camp out on this for 1 second. Us as coaches, we process our order on the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, or the 4th, the 5th, the latest. If you guys still have your PV order floating past the 5th, that's not good. So move it up, right? If you're a brand new coach, ignore me. You don't need to worry about this right now, but it is important for us as coaches to keep our orders processing the 1st through the 5th so that we're not bottlenecking at the end of the month or putting additional stress on the warehouse. And we can give that gift to our mentor that they don't need to be out looking for clients because everything is taken care of, okay, and they can serve us in our business. And then clients need to process on the 1st through the 15th, and then only bringing on new clients at the end of the month and working with your coaches the last week of the month. That's the design of what Dan Bell and Dr. A really wanted to put together. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping, for you guys to think about. Why do we ask what we ask? It all has a really strong purpose. It's not just to tell people what to do with their money or anything like that. Okay, awesome. Moving off of that, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get into some training. So this training I was actually able to do for the FIVIC Madness, but after sharing it with different teams and folks that had watched it, everyone agreed like, hey, that's just a good training for everybody. Okay, so I want to make sure that we do that. If you're new tonight, disclaimer, most of this is going to go like this. Just let it. Don't try to catch tennis balls and hold on to it. If anything sticks, it's going to be a big bonus. But just understand, we train our coaches how to have a successful health coaching business. And tonight we are giving our coaches soft skills and business acumen. And we do that for free. So we teach people how to have successful businesses. We do not charge for that service. And we provide that every now and again on team training. So just know that this call is not something you necessarily have to hold on to. I like to always give that disclaimer because if I don't, I'm going to get coaches that say, hey, my brand new baby coach is super overwhelmed from team night. And then I'm going to say, how come you didn't tell them just to enjoy the culture and not hold on to anything? Okay, just being super honest. We got to do that. Okay, so mastering the steps of developing the business coach within you so that you can help others around you. So did you guys know that when you start coaching, you first are a health coach? And we're teaching you how to be a health coach, which a health coach supports people on their health journey, okay? And then shortly after that, we start teaching you, stretching you. Remember, this is a growth and personal development track. Who in here, drop a 1 in the chat, if you firmly realize that your business is a reflection of your personal development and that the two are not to be separated, nor can they be, and that the more personal development you do, the better your business performs. And that it's almost as if I had a piece of paper and I glued it to another piece of paper and I said personal development, and then I stuck a bunch of glue, and your health coaching business. And then I said, well, hold on, let me try to separate the personal development. We'd have this big piece of paper that would have big gaping holes in it. Okay, they cannot be separated. And those of you that are new, you'll be able to say, I remember when she said that and I didn't really know what she was talking about, but I actually believe her now. Okay, so know that when we train on a business concept, the only way it will come to fruition is if you personally develop through it. So they're not separate. That's why we encourage everyone to coach, because only in coaching will they get their personal development. Okay, I want to help you guys front load your month. I want you to think of doing some of these things with a sense of urgency. If you are a person who struggles to have a sense of urgency, and that you're like, hey, I'm honest enough to say that I don't always have a sense of urgency, that's why you have mentorship. Your mentorship wants to help you develop a sense of urgency. Like, not to run around like chicken with our head cut off or out of structure, but that we would find our calling on the mission urgent, and that we would develop skills to be consistent, and our training would be put into action with a sense of urgency. So what we don't want to happen is we don't want you guys to start becoming obese on trainings. We want you to become fit by putting the training into action. Okay, so here's 5 things, and I would take a screenshot of this actually, because these are some things that if you agree to do them this week with your whole heart, and you kick fear in the face and go, I'm doing all these, I'm not doing them all the same day, but I'm doing them, you will be able to come back on a team call and say, turns out those things work. Here's what happened to me. Okay. And I'm excited. And let's actually do that. You guys, if you do it and you have the predictable success that follows these things, I would love for you to share and tell us about that next week. Okay. So first thing is, how many of you have gotten the word out with 3 family members or 2:00 in the morning friends, where you would call them and say, I still don't think you know what I do. You know, I've had this health journey. So the conversation goes, I'm sure you've been seeing my post about getting healthy. Oh yeah, you're so inspiring. That's great. That's what you know. But what you don't know, or may not know, is that this is literally a calling on my life now, and I am helping people to transform their health. Would you help me get the word out? Would you be willing to help me? And all I'm looking for you to do, I've already typed it up. I don't need you to really do anything except for hit a share button. And my before and after is here. And here's a little bit about my pursuit and what I do for people and what I don't do, with a very clear invitation at the end. I've already typed it up. I just need you to share it on your page. Would you be willing to do that for me? Think of anybody. Think of your tax person. Think of your hairdresser, your lash lady, the person that supplies you with business supplies for your other business. It doesn't matter, but just someone that you have a connection with. That's 1. 2, find someone in the service industry that wants to develop a strategic and reciprocal relationship with you. So this is a very deliberate partnership. I want you to think of like a BNI group, like a business networking industry type thing. But this is you just saying, does my gardener know how to get the word out? Does my housekeeper know what I do? Does my tax person know what I do? Does my nail lady know what I do? Does my dry cleaner, like there's someone in a service industry that you have a connection with, and all you're doing is saying, I want to grow your business. I want to grow your business. I am going to deliberately take actions to send you clients. Would you like to reciprocate and have this partnership with me over the next 12 months, where we both are very deliberate about growing each other's businesses? It's not some accidental once in a while thing, guys. This would be 1 person this month that you really get into a strategic and reciprocal relationship with this person. So think about who that might be. A go live, 3 to 4 minutes long. Speak from your heart. Why do diets fail? Do you guys feel comfortable enough to say, here's 3 reasons why diets fail? And here's why I'm not offering you a diet in my go live. What do you think is missing from a diet? What do you think a diet means to your brain? Even if you don't do it perfectly, do you think if someone came to your house right now and said, Yolanda, why are diets bad? That you wouldn't go, well, first of all, it's a despair cycle, and it's extreme. It's not, it's like you'd come up with something, right? And furthermore, I think they damage, and I think, then we gain our weight back, and great. Do a go live from your heart about why diets have failed you. Now you are the expert on that, and no one can say, well, that was wrong. How could it be wrong? It's to you, right? Okay, so give a clear invitation to say, 4th of July is coming. That's 8 weeks away. I don't want to help you diet. I'll actually be ending diet mentalities within you if you choose to come with me. Tell your followers that you're not Plexus, Isogenics, Shakeology, because not that you'd say any of that, but you're going to say it without saying it, because that is something that is a product. This is something that is a service. Relaunch your friends and family program for the month of May and June. A little bit of advice. Don't roll with the same friends and family program you rolled with in the seasons that are busy. We're headed into summer. You're going to need to get a little more aggressive, because this is the time of year where people are starting to map out their vacation. And if they're not already healthy, they may say, I'll do it after my vacation. So we have to step into that and create hey, only a diet doesn't travel on vacation. Healthy always travels, right? I have healthy programs that travel because health isn't a zip code. It isn't a number on a scale. And I start with how you're thinking. This is our chance to create a red ocean in a sea of diets and fads and extremes and gym programs. We get to use our voice to say, hold on, you can do that and I won't judge you. But if you want to do something better, this is what that would look like. Okay, so think about doubling down, spreading out payments. What kind of aggressive referral program? For instance, you could say, I have 4 things that you could do this month that would make you a part of my friends and family program. Number 1, a shout out on your page tagging me. That's one. That's a $10 wellness credit. Number 2, put me in a 3-way thread with anyone that's been asking. Do not explain program. I will do that. Just connect me. Hey, this is Amy. This is my coach, Crystal Ayala. She's guided me to this point. You keep complimenting me. I wanted to connect you guys and see if there's a connection. I'm going to ask you guys to start a separate thread at this point. Best of luck to both of you, right? Like, help them to know how to do that. Double their wellness credits, spread them out over a couple of months. This is the time to make sure that every one of your clients on their check-in knows about your friends and family program. Do another go live, not the same day you did the first one, but just hit it up with your voice and launch some kind of summer accountability program, whatever that is. Maybe it's teaching people that there are 3 options for what they do with their body from now until, the 4th of July, and that you have very specific programs and you're starting accountability groups so that they can rock their health and they didn't miss the boat and they can see some really immediate changes. Okay, so this is front loading your month. Now, this is the kind of stuff, guys, I normally see be done the last 3 days of the month. And I think it's putting us in a pattern that we really free will don't want to be in. And I don't think it's our best. I think we could do lots of aggressive and exciting announcements on the front end of the month so we can connect with our 5 new clients every month. And out of those 5 new clients, there's a coach in there. So we can 5-in-1 our business every single month and really start to develop a cadence for very strong, strategic, and consistent growth in our business that guards against any scarcity or scrambling. So that's what I will suggest for front loading your business. All right, let me see why there we go. How do we integrate current clients? So this is another screenshot thing that may help you. This is what I do when I'm thinking about a client starting. While they're waiting for their kit, I'm trying to build relationship, establish community for them, and understand their success criteria. I want very clear success criteria from them on what they think would be successful while they're waiting for their kit. I want them on Monday night call. I want them listening to Saturday morning playbacks while they're waiting for their kit. Okay, so it's relationship. I want to get to know them, look at their Facebook page, talk to them about vacations coming up, relationship plus community plus success criteria. Then week 1, I want to nail the nutrition. I want to get them in a nice, strong fat burn. I want to come up against no more food talk. I want to add them to chasing better on day 4. And I want to do that with a lot of enthusiasm. I'm adding you to your second group, John, because the first group, is all about eating and recipes and support and some mindset. But this next group embodies fulfillment, purpose, finances, and the other attributes of health. So we separate that, and I'm adding you to this group on day 4, because we're going to start the sharing component of your plan soon, and I wanted to prepare you for that. So excited, like this is good. Everybody gets this. Tag them in the stories and follow up with them. What's surprising you in there? What story did you really love? I tagged you in a couple. Did you get to read them? Oh, you know what, Yolanda? I hadn't even accepted the invite yet. I'm sorry. So now we're going to talk about sharing, and they're not even in Chasing Better. And this is where sponsoring starts to just fall apart. And now we're trying to push it uphill. Okay. So week 2 is when team coaching begins. So they're going to meet your mentor coaches. You've already set them up for that. They're excited about it because you're saying you're going to get to meet the wizard who got me to this point, that got you to call me. We're going to increase your community. You're doing great. We're not going to do the turtling like they just talked about, right? We're tribal and we heal in community. I'm going to get you to start sharing and saying hello to nourish people. I know you've been consuming. We're about to get contributing, and we're going to start sharing, because that is a living out loud process that will prevent you from quitting on yourself. So this is the posture each week, is like, these are my priorities. How am I doing? Week 3, that friendship is forming. You're starting to ask yourself in week 3, and I might add this in here, am I doing any hero coaching? Is there anything in me that I'm still answering that I should be providing a resource for, or a page number, or a podcast? That would be something to rectify right away. Week 4, meetups. If they're local, this is why we do community coffees, hikes, and more. If they're not local, don't go, oh, darn it, well, most of my clients are not local. That's okay. Can you do a coffee hour with them? Can you say, grab coffee and meet me in the Zoom? I have this 8 o'clock Zoom with all my clients on Saturday before the book club, and we just chit chat and we just support each other and we just learn something about each other. It's just my way of connecting, and I want to create that community. So again, the obstacle is the way. We must have their community increase. People don't leave this community, they leave the product. So we have to be better at really pulling all of that in. Share all the tips that they're learning in there and expose them to coaching partners, right? So this is, you're going to see, if you put them all in a group and they're having coffee before book club and everybody, oh, this is so-and-so, she's like, great. You're going to see who your coaches are, because they're going to be the talkers, the sharers, oh, I have some advice for you on that. Like, and you're going to see them self-identify in those groups and on those hikes and things like that. You're going to see who really wants it and who's really showing up. So why do I say that? Because integrated clients make integrated coaches. So we must start the integration process really, really early. Okay. All right, moving on. So we all start out as a transformational health coach. Many of you that are new are going to say, I thought I was just a health coach. Transformational health coach requires clarification and conversation. So when I say to someone, I'm a transformational health coach, and I also train and certify transformational health coaches, I create health coaching businesses, right? They're like, oh, that's so interesting. What is that? And now I get to say, well, you know, transformational health coaches, we take someone from caterpillar to butterfly. A butterfly can never go back to being a caterpillar. We don't talk food until we start talking about what the client's thinking about. So we do all the mindset work that every diet has left behind. We really change the whole person, and they have a transformation, which means they can't go back because there's been a radical transformation. That's what and that takes time. That's not an apple has pectin and this is how you do a curl. Like this is much bigger. It comes down to how well are they thinking, not just what they're eating. We're guides that offer a higher level of success. So are you guys protecting? So we talked about filling the funnel. Okay, that's filling the funnel. The beginning of the month, we got to front load it, right? And get out there and connect. And then we have to protect the funnel because we already brought on clients from April and we don't want them falling through the bag and having short orders. And now we're like, well, I thought I only needed like 1 or 2 clients, but my map says I need 5 more again, right? That's not protecting the funnel. So front load it and protect it. Do you have a summer plan in place for every client you service? Do you know when their vacation is? Are they going to want to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain over the summer? I put a poll in Nourished. Did you guys go check the poll? Did you see what your clients said in there? Are you ready to step into that? There is an actual pretty good critical mass of replies from that poll. I do that to help you so you can see the headspace of where your clients are at right now. How do you handle short orders? You want to see how I handle them? I'll show you. Hopefully I'll show you. Nope, here's the poll. I'll show you the poll. There's the poll. It's there. Here's the possible responses. So if you didn't know that I did that, you can go and look for that. Looks like my little shortcut that I had is missing. Let me see if I can find it really quick. And see if I can ninja that up really quick. Yep. Okay. There's hope for you all because technically I'm so terrible and I'm learning. Okay. So here is, hi, I saw your order changed. Is there any way we can have it processed on 4/30? This was someone that pushed their order out until that I have been meeting with weekly, and she took her April order and shoved it into May. Okay. Like 5/7 or something. And I said, or reduce it to have an order in April. I'm paid to service you by that order. So I asked my clients to help me by having 1 order a month for those services. I really appreciate it. When it pushes and we meet weekly, I'm not compensated all month. I know that you get it. Okay. So I'm a business person. I am now, keep in mind, we have a true connection. I have provided valuable check-ins. She never misses her check-ins. And I get after it. No problem. I'll log in after work, right? She fixed it immediately. And I said, thank you. How's your daughter? How's her, panic attacks? All this is relational. So if you don't have relationship and you say that, and they're not getting value, they may be like, that was weird, right? Even if they say that was weird, you are meeting with them weekly. You need to be paid for meeting with them weekly. Be okay with that. Because push outs and short orders will hurt you. But guess what matters more? The client gets hurt because there's no way they're eating 5 a day if they have half-baked orders and push outs. They're starting to eat other things and they will quit program. So you're not contending for the order. You're contending for them. And also when they're doing okay, you're doing okay. That's the model that they created for us. It's very, very, very interdependent. Short orders, educate, correct them, have like a no tolerance in your mind, like, whoa, got to fix that, got to get after that. That needs to be 22 boxes. I have the same immediate response when I see someone's order go to 12 boxes that's on a 5-in-1. I get after it and we fix it to 22 immediately. And if we can't, we split the order. But we're not doing short orders because when I go through their structure, their healthy tension or structured tension rather, that's not going to serve them. Okay. Are you cheerleading them, hero coaching them, or coaching them? Are you providing value-driven conversations that always come out of our systems? If I was listening to your check-ins, be honest. Is it a bunch of friend zone talking and cheerleading and all of that, or is it forwarding them in their health journey? Be honest with yourself, because that's probably decaying some of it from what it needs to be in terms of forwarding them and having them coach with you. If it's all you personality driven coaching, you will not have a team because that's not replicatable. Do you know how to calculate their thermal energy expenditure? If that's still a mystery, don't like freak out that you don't know how to do it. We don't need a master's course in coaching, but we do need to have skills as a health coach to where when someone says, well, I'm going to quit because I'm plateauing and I'm just going to go to the gym. That you would go, whoa, 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 let's calculate your TEE. You are supposed to be losing a pound a week. You weigh a lot less. Do you see this? And help them to understand, oh, I'm not plateauing. I just am a lot less of me. So I'm going to lose slower, right? We just don't step into things that really have to be stepped into if you want to protect your funnel. And then page 77 is a safe island page where you can guide them through the 6 stages of change and really help them. So I'm not going to go through all the rest of my slides. We're going to take this in a couple of parts, but I'm going to stop my share. And I do want to offer 2 to 3 minutes as we wrap up for other leaders to speak or for you to ask a question about anything that you've heard tonight. And then we'll finish up that training another time, because there is a whole second half to this. And I really believe it will help you guys have a healthier May. Does anyone have comments, questions, anything that you want to chime in with?
Hi, Rachel. I just wanted to share. Hi. Uh-oh. Who's on? Who's going? Me?
That just you. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to share about protecting what we've already established as we're working with our clients. And by no means am I an expert, but just based on the people that we have been servicing for August is going to be 3 years. So as far as the summer, being really clear on what is it that you want. A lot of times, and I hear Patrick say this to our clients a lot, when they do some outrageous things as far as pushing orders out and things of that nature, or they can't Zoom. So we always go back to the why and ask, is this still important to you? And if that's so, how do we now differentiate? How do we now do a push out? And as we ask them, let's be clear, is this why still what we're contending for? What can we contend for in support of your why? And when they say that's still true, and yet their order is short, we always say, we don't want you hacking, we want you really tracking, because Optavia, they do this for us by making sure you're getting 22 boxes. So if you're not, if you are tracking, there is no way you can short your order, because he says, that's not that healthy retrained brain. That is your unhealthy brain trying to make a healthy decision. So when we have those real conversations, they'll say, you're right. So he's always saying to them, okay, let's do this. Let's clean it up. Let's pull that order back in. And now let's track with Optavia's system that they have on hand. And let's do a clean 5-in-1. It got a little messy, and he's always saying it's not so perfect. If he had on his hat, he would show it to you. But we're not expecting perfection, but progress. So if you're really clear on your why, and we want to contend and support that, let's clean it up, pull it in, and let's do a clean 5-in-1. And if you feel like you're doing something off of that, hop back into our Zoom room and let's really talk about it. Let's have that conversation. So that's what works for us.
So good. You're contending for your client. They hired a coach, not a cheerleader. Coaches win games, cheerleaders don't. You got to coach it. If you're like, oh my God, all this makes me so uncomfortable. Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, this all makes me so uncomfortable. What did I say at the beginning of the call? You can't separate your business from your personal development. If you think that makes you uncomfortable to contend for someone and help them get out of their own way, I promise you that's showing up in other areas of your life. I promise you. So this is why we do it. We don't do it to just go protect the front line and all that. It's missional at its core. I love that. You modify the program, you're going to modify the results. Your old programming is starting to hit the keyboard and short the order, because believe me when I tell you, you're trying to go back to your old self by doing just that. And we're not going to do that because we're going somewhere new. I love it. All right, Alan, did you have something you wanted to share too?
Yeah, just real quick. I know we're
Thank
late.
you.
Just, I think if I can just offer this perspective shift, I think sometimes we can struggle with how we're approaching our client if we're approaching them bold about making sure that we're integrating, we are making full orders, all these things, right? If we're having an issue with that, maybe ask yourself, are you feeling like you're going to come across like you're trying to protect your order and your volume that client's bringing in, or are you actually contending for their health? Because if you're actually contending for their health, you won't have any issue saying the things that are going to serve their health, unless you just don't believe that having the proper amount of fuelings and staying in fat burn and being on plan all month is the best thing for their health. If it is the best thing for their health, and you do believe that because this is what we're coaching, then you shouldn't have any issue at all bringing that up to them. If you need these people, you're not going to lead them adequately. You have to get to a point in time where you earnestly believe how you're coaching them is serving them, and you won't have to beg to help someone. So cool.
That is so good. And I will tell you guys that the other thing is I am unapologetic about the fact that I am a business owner. Did I start there? No. Do I expect you to be there right then and there now? No. But you know what? How will I be here providing that valuable service if I'm not successful and profitable? Like, who else would you take that from? If your tax person wasn't getting paid, how long would they be your tax person? If you're, so we have to get to a space where it is 4,000% what Alan said in your heart, but that you're also really clear on the fact that you provide a valuable service that forwards them weekly, and that order protects that too. It's both. It is both. It's transformational and transactional. If one of them bothers you, that's the one you're going to have to develop in. And that piece of paper goes right back to, I get weird about money. If you get weird about money talk or anything like that, that's part of your personal development, because no one here makes money unless someone's life is radically changing. There's no one that makes any money unless that's happening. We just don't have that business model. There's lots of other things you could do out there where you can make money without radically changing a life. Not here. You just can't. So I love you guys. I really wanted to contend for you tonight. I want your May to be different in a way that is just really peaceful to you. And you're like, I think I'm getting this. I think I'm growing in this. And I want you to have fun with your business because you're so abundantly blessed, and you're not fighting for orders or scrambling at the end of the month or dragging clients or dragging coaches. None of that is our way. And I really want to slowly step you guys into abundance. So have a great night. We'll also, when's the second half of this training coming? Power Hour, Wednesday. So in my Zoom room, and we will record it, and we will record tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out a few minutes extra. Thank you guys for Sherry and Alan for sharing. And we'll see you guys soon.